BVR process. So as a sense, before the start of the second phase of the BVR process, they are now putting in place mechanism to be able to address some of these issues or some of these challenges that they had during the conduct of the first phase. So one thing they said was that just recently over the weekend, they were able to treat some people in Banga. And, you know, during the launch of the process, they were able to treat some people, and they were also able to do a case study on what needs to be done and what needs not to be done, especially during as regard to some of the challenges that they had during the conduct of the first phase. And so the generators will be presented on today. According to them, those generators will be used to substitute some of those areas where they face hard time in getting electricity to conduct the process. Because, you know, the entire process, actually, it cannot be conducted without the issue of electricity occurring.
Let's talk about deployment quickly. Phase 2 of the BVR exercise will commence very shortly. Do we have next staffers already deployed in some of those counties that will undergo phase 2 of the exercise?
Yes, I think that was one of the questions that were posed to them, and what they said was that each county, they don't go around taking people from one destination to another. What they do is they get to each county and they train specific number of persons that they need to work with. And so they have already trained those people, and equipment, the same equipment that were being used in the first 7 or 8 counties, those equipment have been taken to the next counties, and, you know, to start the process. And so today was the last day for the distribution of these equipment, and have already started across the remaining 9 counties that the process should start any moment. I mean, on the 21st of this month. And so, I mean, they have assured Liberians that those that they have chosen, they have confided in them, and they are trained. And I mean, those mistakes that were made in the past, they're going to capitalize on it to see how best they can be able to rectify those mistakes and see how best those people will also be able to improve and cover all on those mistakes that were made during the first phase of the process.
Finally, Steve, I'm concerned about the stats. Please take your time for the benefit of our audience and go over it once again, please.
You mean the specific number of persons that were registered during the first phase?
Yes.
Yes. So according
take
to
your time, Steve. Just take your time and read out the numbers.
The chairperson of the National Elections Commission, Director Brown Lasana, told us on today that a total number of 1,435,209 registered voters were registered during the first phase. So excluding those people who were caught in mass phrasing, people who double voted, who double registered, and those names, because she was not able to be specific to give her the name according to her. The process is ongoing, and the investigation process is ongoing as those people are being arrested to specific area. They are being turned over to the Ministry of Justice for investigation. And so after the investigation, the total number of persons now will be forwarded to them, and an immediate action will be taken against those people, meaning those people will be denied participating in the general elections. So out of the 1,435,000 persons, 1,435,209 persons registered voters, 711,410 were females, while 723,799 were males during the process.
Okay, Steve, thank you very kindly. Let's leave it at that. It was a pleasure having you on the line. Thank you ever so much for the efforts.
Thank you so much.
Steve Roberts is our reporter there at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission, bringing us up to speed with the just ended press conference. I'm sure you heard from Steve himself reading out the stats from the NEC. And so this is the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. We're live and direct from the nation's capital, Monrovia. And wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing, it is our pleasure to say good afternoon from Monrovia and welcome to the program. Anthony, listen to Steve read out the statistics and providing some information from the NEC as per the press conference on today.
Yes.
So can we say we have a good number of people who registered during the first phase in those counties? He talked about 405,200 and let me read again. 1,405,209 individuals or persons registered.
The census report says we are about 5 million
Yeah, 5.2.
5.2.
Yeah.
So we have 1 million from Moserado and Moserado bomb. Do we have bomb there? Yes.
I forgot to ask Steve whether it is the
Yeah.
the entire.
So there I get confused. Moserado, Mangibi, Grembaso, Bomi, Bapolu, Cape Mount. Okay. So bomb is not there. 6 counties, right?
Yeah. What are these 1 million plus cover the 6 counties? The first phase of the exercise, we have 6 counties that were concentrated. We want to know whether
Yeah. So
this 1,400,000 5,209 registered voters cover the entire 6 counties that participate in phase 1 of the BVR program or exercise.
So there now, there are too many questions.
I think we have to go back to Steve. We can do that quickly to hear from Steve once again to provide that update. It slipped off, and so we have to
No,
do
but
that.
the entire press conference was about the 6 counties that I just concluded, right?
Let's get it right from Steve. He was there. He covered the entire press conference. I'm not saying you could be wrong, but
Yes.
let's hear from there who covered the entire
1.4 million, right? That number alone, that number cannot come from only Moserado. Anyway, let's
Yeah,
talk to him.
Steve is back. Steve, we forgot to ask you something. We call you back quickly. Steve, are you there? Okay, so please provide this clarity. The number you released minutes ago, does it cover the entire 6 counties that was part of the phase 1 of the exercise?
The first phase of the BVR process, that was the total number of registrar candidates that the National Elections Commission recorded.
Okay.
In the first counties, and like I said, a total amount of 53 million were being approved by the government of Liberia for the conduct of the entire process, meaning the BVR, the registration process, and that of the conduct of the general election. So out of this 53 million, we have also allocated, out of this 53 million, 33 million is being allocated for the conduct of the general election, while 20 million is being allocated for the conduct of the BVR process. So out of this as well, 27.5 million is currently now of the NDC for the conduct of the entire BVR process, and some portion of the general election processes. We expected, they have not told us as to when they're going to receive the amount, the remaining Ministry of Finance have told us that they have promised them that in subsequent time will be able to receive the remaining 25.5 million United States dollars for the conduct of the entire process in the country.
Steve Rowles, thank you very kindly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, so Anthony, you got it correct.
So you see, yes.
Yeah.
So that number could not come from only Moserado. But again, to you, if you are saying Grand Basso is one of the populous counties in Liberia.
Yeah.
Grand Basso, if Grand Basso is not around the 4th, Grand Basso should be around the 3rd. But I'm sure Grand Basso should be around the 4th because Moserado, next will be Nimba County. I'm sure the tier 1 will be Bon County. Grand Basso should be around the 4th. And so having Moserado alone with the population of Moserado County, I'm sure I'm not dictating or questioning the census report though, but I'm sure even the census report, if we check that census report, Moserado County will be around something around 1 million plus. Alone Moserado County will be around something 1 million. So having the 6 counties, are you telling me that Grand Cape Mount County is around 50,000 or 100,000 individuals, or
What
9
do you
GB?
think? Do you think the number is small? You think it's
No, but the thing is that number to
for
me,
the 6 counties?
yes. Well,
1 million
my opinion
plus people.
my opinion on that is that number is small. Moserado County alone is close to 1 million.
So what does that suggest? Does it mean that there were not many persons who registered to form part of the election in October?
So
Can we say that?
apparently, many persons did not turn out again. There were reports of people trucking people from here and there, and so there are other people who are in fact who might be on the standby waiting to go to maybe Sino, Riverside, Grand Crew, Grand Jita, and other places to go and do their registration. So you cannot outrule that people want to. The last time we listened to there was a story we carried here that
That could be one of the major factors, I'm sure, Anthony.
yes,
voter chalking, people leaving from their area where they reside, going to other areas
Yes.
to get registered.
Yes. So with all of those things, you can tell me
So
that the
that would be
population
responsible for the reduction
in the population of Mosorado, in the
Yes,
six
the
counties,
six
right?
counties.
Because, Tio, nobody will tell me that Mosorado County, the population in Mosorado County can double, in fact, can be more than the one in Grand Bassa, Mangibi, and Bombing, Cape Mount, Guapuru. No, it's not possible. Mosorado population cannot be more than the 5 counties. And Mosorado is close to 1 million. So you're telling me that 100,000 people come from Bassa? Bassa is also a populated county. Mangibi is jammed.
Mangibi is popular as well.
So,
especially Grand Bassa, Anthony.
yeah, but the thing is,
Grand Bassa, Mosorado, those are all populated counties.
so look at 3 counties. 3 counties among those 6 counties, right? Grand Bassa, Mosorado, Mangibi. They are populated in the rest of the 3 counties. Bapolu, Bombing, Cape Mount. But the thing is, that's why it is when we have a country like Liberia where people will think
Yeah, that means
the
something is wrong somewhere.
Yes. So, but
From the stats being released today by the NEC,
we
it tells you that something is wrong somewhere.
we don't want to question their report, but again, let's go back to the census report. When we go back to that census report, if you talk to somebody from Leges, they give you the statistics of Mosorado County, Mangibi, Grand Bassa, Bapolu, Grand Cape Mount, and Bomi. Tio, when you look at the ages that are of voting, the voter registration ages, you realize that we are close to 2 million just between the 6 counties.
Okay.
And you telling me today, but anyway, that's Liberia. Sometimes we have to
1,400,000.
yes.
5,209 registered voters across the 6 counties that participated in phase 1 of the BVR exercise.
Right. So we have to accept it that way because, well, that's what the National Elections Commission say. Another place I found little problem is why would the NEC tell the press guys who gather to the place there, tell the journalists that they cannot give them figure of those who were arrested for maybe attempting to register double or for double registration. They cannot give them a figure. Well, Tio, somebody come to the place.
That's not possible.
Somebody come here, we arrest the person. We turn the person over. We get record on the person already. The next day, another person come, we arrest the person.
And
at
every
the
day,
end of the day,
you do your...
At the end of the day, ABC Radio will have a fixed number as to how many staff maybe we have dismissed. At the end of the month, we know how many persons we dismissed, how many persons we took in. So when anybody asks you, the manager will stay anywhere and tell anybody that, hey, we dismissed the number of persons. He didn't have to even come to your office.
Of course, and all of the supervisors at the various centers.
Yes. So you gather yourself.
I'm sure they were able to provide daily report.
But those people were arrested.
And those things were captured in the daily report.
Of course.
Yeah, so
of course.
They should know that X, Y, Z number of persons were arrested. They should have that statistics or that information to the tip of the finger.
So you can tell me that you who arrested all the people today, you coming back to tell us, say, you can't tell us the number because you're waiting for the Ministry of Justice to come out and do. Sometimes when people start to do these things, then it raises many questions on a very serious note. So you could tell us those number of people were arrested, but they are ongoing investigation until they are found guilty. We can't tell you otherwise, but so number. So the Ministry of Justice,
I think the number was important,
could send them to court, and at the end of the day, somebody will tell you that yeah, we send them to court. But those people, all of them were not found guilty. A particular number was guilty. The other people, theirs was misconstrued in some kind of way. So they were let go. I think it will make sense to us, right? But
Great.
For you to tell me that after arresting people, then you're telling people, say, we don't know how many persons we arrested, waiting for the Ministry of Justice to give a report, then you bring too many questions to we who are doing the question answering some. No, this is not possible. This is not possible.
Yeah, you were talking about the release from the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Yes.
The Director of Public Affairs, Oxford Brown, released something on the 14th of this month. and it's not going down well with those folks who previously worked with the Beach and Waterways project.
Yeah.
So you could just read the release for the sake of our audience.
Yeah. So
then we'll join Edwin Khan later on, one of the supervisors. We'll talk to two persons, right?
I don't know. We'll talk to Young. Young is the regional coordinator for the Beaches and Waterway projects, Montserrat County. But let's get it released quickly.
Yes.
It was issued on the 14th of April 2023.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Honorable D. Zioka Wesim, has disclosed that the ministry's temporary, that's a program that you say had different name than the name now, temporary employment for community youth project will commence its 2023 budget year operations on May 1, 2023. Minister Wilson made the disclosure on Tuesday, April 11, 2023 at the ministry when he met beneficiaries of the project for the 2022 cycle of the Foreman Beaches and Waterways project. He said the success of the implementation had 1,194 persons, 650, which is 54.4%, are males, and 544, which is 45.6%, are females who benefited from the project's impact. These beneficiaries were recruited from 15 counties. 15 counties in Montserrat County. Well, this is in Montserrat County, and payments to the mobile money account to beneficiaries were made through Lone Star and Orange GSM companies. During the meeting, the minister clarifies that although beneficiaries of the former Beaches and Waterways project carry out a volunteer cleaning of the beaches in late March, the government of Liberia, through the ministry, does not owe any compensation for any worker on any of its coastal sanitation projects, be it former Beaches and Waterways or the current TECY project. The minister said, as per the MOU that was signed, Beaches and Waterways beneficiaries were fully paid and settled in 2022, and the government does not owe any compensation to any worker. He also stated that all months work under the current TECY project in 2022 were fully paid for. During the meeting, so the minister told the workers that while the ministry appreciates citizens volunteering their services at no cost to the government, it is important for those who volunteer to be aware that volunteering their services is not guaranteed that they will be absorbed under the current project. So you say, whether you can work free, you don't work free, it means we'll take you. You could be volunteering, you could be working free, we'll take other people from us, I will put on the project, even though that is not explained where it could be. Beneficiaries are recruited based on the budget ceiling, and the ministry can only afford to recruit the number of beneficiaries it is setting to get budgetary allotment for. However, due to the government's interest in the well-being of its citizens, especially those living in slum communities, the National Legislature has increased this year's budget allocation for the implementation of the 2023 cycle. Based on this, the ministry wants to inform the public that it will be absorbing a certain number of former beaches and waterways beneficiaries, as well as others who have been volunteering on the beaches. The minister also stated that the ministry is strongly considering the possibility of incorporating other counties in this year's operation. The meeting was also attended by members of the House of Representatives, including Honorable Dixon Sibo of District 16, Honorable Moses Akaras Gray of District 8, Honorable Safoko of District 9, Commissioner Weah of the Township of West Point, the office of Honorable Solomon George had a representative. Signed, P. Oxford Brown, Director of Public Affairs, Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Yes, yes, Anthony. So the ministry is saying that the ministry is saying.
What's that?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Let's see a problem. Let's see a problem. What's it about? So that's what the ministry tried to tell us, right?
Yeah.
The ministry said they've paid all of those who have volunteered. So all of those who have volunteered, the ministry has paid them through mobile money. So the number of people they talk about is, excuse me, is 1,000.
Wait a minute. So those who volunteered when it was still Beach and Waterways project,
Yes.
are those who were paid? Is that what it's saying? Or what?
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah.
So that means they don't have money for anyone this time around.
No, the ministry said they owe
Because the
anybody.
project is under a new name now.
He said they owe anybody. So those who are still volunteering, it means that they will take you because you're volunteering, right? It means they will take you, but they will take a particular number that the budget can afford to pay, that the budget they get can cover. So for instance, it can cover 100 person. Then we have 200 person volunteering, and the rest of the 100 will do many money, but will set some of you down, some of you will come in. Even though it is better to absorb people you can pay, right? But let's get the reality of this, right? Whether they pay other than, because according to this press release, they said as per their MOU, because I remember there were times when we were up there were times that they had to protest every time, and we cover some of the protests, the protest stations, and so the sign that government was paying them, the ministry said declare. So let's see whether we can talk to Winnie, and
Yeah.
because of recent before we go to Winnie, Tio, of recent, the representative of District 16, Representative Dixon Sibo, he was on the beach with the Beaches and Waterway volunteers, and he said to them, he said, I have the payroll from the Ministry of Finance, and I received the particular one from the Ministry of Youth and Sports. It means that they should be getting paid anytime. So where is it coming from again? They say they get paid on the other side, they finish taking pay and other thing. But this team, the entire Beach and Waterway project, to some extent, I don't know how it's it, but there's a need that it is handled properly. But let's talk to Edwin.
Yeah, let's try to establish contact with Edwin Cannon, one of the men who is in the thick of things regarding that project when it was Beach and Waterways, now to what it is. Edwin Cannon, we hope you will pick up our call so that we can get a clear understanding about how you guys are feeling regarding the released. It's been announced that the government is not indebted to any of those workers.
So
those volunteer workers.
they release,
so let's take Edwin Cannon.
Okay.
Let's take Edwin G.V. Cannon. Edwin is on the line. Edwin, I hope you can hear me. How are you today?
Okay.
Good to have you. You're live on ABC Radio. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure. Yeah, we just my colleague just read a release from the Ministry of Youth and Sports regarding the project you guys once worked with some time ago. In that release, it's been stated that the government.
So in paragraph 3,
the government is now indebted to volunteer workers of the Beach and Waterways project. How true is it?
I want to appreciate the government as usual. We want to appreciate the national government so far for what they are doing. Yes, we have our people on the beaches in making sure, because we live along the coastal line. So we saw the way the beaches were looking. Before this Reclaiming Labrador Beaches and Waterway project started, 2011, we had an issue of cholera, diarrhea, and if it was not because of Reclaiming Labrador Beaches and Waterway project, we could lose more life from Ebola because of the way our beaches were looking. Cholera, diarrhea is related to Ebola, and then we did well. Now people started saying that the Reclaiming Labrador Beaches and Waterway were not doing well for this country. We're just getting money and eating money. So when the project got shut down due to some misunderstanding between government and some workforce that wanted to make sure that the project get closed, the beaches went bad, very, very bad. So as a leader, being the chairman of Community Watch Forum, Mosso-Rado County, and also community chairman for Central and Getty Street Sub-Beach community, at that time, I decided that we clean our various beaches because these surrounding are places that we live. The president not there, the speakers and other people are not living there. We did that for 3 months. And then later we learned that there was some money, a portion in the budget to make sure that they can take care of the Reclaiming Labrador Beaches and Waterway project by Honorable Sibo, Honorable Solomon Collier George, and other lawmakers. So we decided again to say, yes, it's good for us to clear our beaches. But we inform our people that this is a voluntary job. We are doing this to encourage government so that they can be able to look up to this unique project.
So, Edwin, is the government indebted to you guys or what?
No. On that, the government is not indebted to us. We decided to do that at least so the government can see the need. And we were trying to disprove the rumors that we were not doing anything and the beaches was getting cleaned by itself. So when we did it, I think the government saw the need and they put some money within the budget so that we can be able to start the project. But then it was announced by the minister and the lawmakers from the Bureau bill that the project will start May 1st. So we are happy and we hope that our people, everybody will be included on that project. We are trying to appeal to the president and whosoever that is responsible for that to make sure that our entire workforce will be included on that project so our beaches can remain clean and protected. And then so we can be able to attract more funding, like from the tourist setting. You know how the beaches look now. Today you got more recreation center around our coastal line. It is doing well for us. We want to generate funds for the government, not just getting funds from the government. So,
Edwin.
Yeah.
So the Ministry of Youth and Sports says it pay 1,194 persons through mobile money from your last year MOU signed when you guys were protesting the MOU you signed with the Ministry of Youth and Sport and Finance. They said it clear everybody.
The last year project was not Reclaiming Labrador Beaches and Waterway project. Last year project, the Ministry of Youth and Sport run taxi, temporary community, youth empowerment. So the point that we made to them, our request was we wanted for our entire workforce of the Reclaiming Labrador Beaches and Waterway project to be, included on that project. We could not go to because of the budgetary, allocation from the national legislature. So this year we started lobbying with these lawmakers to make sure that our people can be part of that project. So last year taxi ran, yes, with the number that they're discussing, and it was paid through mobile money and everything was done. Okay. But some of us, like me, from my region, I was the only person that was part on that project as advisor, with few pricing. But this year, what we are pushing for is to make sure that the entire workforce of the Reclaiming Labrador Beaches and Waterway project to be factor on the project.
How many of you are you advocating for?
We are 5,000 workforce from Banjo Hotel Africa, Nukuta, West Point, Mama Point, Sinko, Kongota, and ERWA to Dwazo.
So the Ministry of Youth and Sports is saying they are not adding. In fact, they are not.
He says it's going to be voluntary this time around.
No, the voluntary work is already on. We are already done the voluntary work.
Oh.
In fact, it's still ongoing, right? So starting off now, May 1st, the project will be starting. The taxi that run just last year will be running,
okay.
And there's additional money to add some, like the minister said, there is additional money to add some of the recruitment laboratories and whatever with former worker.
Right.
And at the same time, add some money people that have been doing the voluntary work on the beaches.
But
what we are asking for is that to make sure that we have everybody included on the project.
Okay.
But the ministry say, but when the ministry is saying not everyone that is volunteering will be included in into the project.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That what we were informed. But what we are asking for is for the minister, for the government, not just the minister, but for the lawmaker, because you know that we have a budget that can always be recast.
Yeah.
What we are asking the government to do,
you're coming for
the
politics,
lawmaker, especially that lays along these two codes to add money to this money that the ministry have right now, so that our people can be able to be faster, because we are in an election year.
No,
our people need jobs.
Okay, Edwin.
So
Thank you.
I hope you get room for those of you that will be sidelining, because if money can cover every one of you, I hope you're going to get room for that one.
Yeah, as I'm speaking to you right now, most of our people have decided to go a few,
okay.
So that this can be done. And I know with the kind of situation we have right now, our people will accept the lawmakers, the president, and other people that are responsible with
because election coming.
Thank you, Edwin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Edwin G.V. Cannon, Alliance Chigbene, there, providing the clarity. I think it's clear, Anthony, the government is right.
Yeah, of course.
It's not indebted to anyone. Regarding the whole beach and waterway thing, even up to the time the name was changed to what it is now.
Yeah.
Government is not indebted.
Yeah.
So the release is clear.
Very
we just
clear.
wanted to get the clarity.
Yeah, yes,
and to know what's obtaining amongst those beach and waterways workers.
Of course.
So I think it's clear. So let's take a break now as we...
Can we take a few calls to you?
Calls? You want us to take calls?
Yeah.
All right, you can announce the numbers.
What if you're joining us? 077-105-100, Those are you following online. The number is just pinned on our live feed. You can call us on 777-105-100, 777-105-100. Nothing controversial in this thing, though, yes, but some of you who are workers on the beaches and waterways can also call in. Is good. Yeah. Always don't wait for the controversial side to say to can criticize government.
You also listen to the release from the Ministry of not the Ministry but the National Elections Commission, the press conference on today. We brought you update.
Yeah.
From that press conference on today, you listen to our reporter Stephen Roberts, who covered the conference.
Yes.
And maybe you want to weigh on that as well. You have the opportunity now to do so as we move along the show.
So maybe we're taking 5 or 10 minutes on that, and we try to go to our next guest on the show.
Yes, shortly we'll be joined by Mr. Daniel Sander. Sander is the vice chair for press and public affairs of the Liberty Party. If you can recall, the Yumli Kanga Lawrence faction of the Liberty Party expressed disappointment in the recent Supreme Court ruling on the crisis surrounding the constitution of the party. Last week, the Supreme Court handed down a verdict on the constitution of the party after a protracted period of legal battle in the case between Liberty Party Chairman Musa Hassan Beliti and the political leader Yumli Kanga Lawrence. But Senator Lawrence said the decision is not final, as they have not concluded with the case otherwise being reported across the country. The Liberty Party political leader noted that it was surprising to have seen the involvement of one of the associate justices, Yusuf Kabai, amongst the other justices at the Supreme Court when he earlier decided that he was recusing himself from the case. So that is the point of contention right there, Anthony. So if no cause, we can take a break. as we join Dana Sando to further speak on this whole Liberty Party saga. We'll continue to talk about it because it's important. I mean, it's trending as well. That's one of the major issues.
Dama, share on your share, oh my oh. Bank care with me as soon as you tell, oh. Play power, oh your phone. I didn't have a reason to live, you showed me the way, and I'm grateful for everything that you did. You never ever played me low. See, I'm not worthy of your grace, I'm not worthy of your blessings. Still you not close me, oh. Still you not give up on me. I call you my doctor, my bro, my brabio. See your man, les on, les como. Nangla, you hella bo. Le call you Elohim, yes, wa tato. Like you, le one can win all the battle. You give me more reason to pray. God don't give up on me. 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 Don't give up on me. You told me not to worry. We should give you thanks and praise. Acapella cool as spell. Me I understand the trail.
The official voice of Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. Today is Monday. Today is the 17th day of April 2023. And of course, from wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing, we'd love to say welcome. As you ride home this wonderful evening, take it easy. Just move in the queue and avoid using the shoulders of the road. Watch out for pedestrians as you drive home this afternoon or this evening, if you will. Just take it easy. Respect all of those rules and regulations that governs the traffic. So we will have a quick release. Antonin, are you ready?
Yeah, okay. So this release comes from the United States Department of Justice. It's a Justice Department to announce arrests and charges in significant national security matter. And so it says media advisory for planning purpose only. So it says Washington this afternoon, Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General for National Security David Newman, U.S. Attorney Brian Pease for Eastern District of New York, Assistant Director in charge Michael J. Driscoll of the FBI New York Field Office, and Assistant Director in charge David Sunborough of the FBI Washington Field Office will host a press conference to announce the arrest and charges in a significant national security matter. Well, we just thought to bring you.
Yeah, that's breaking, right?
Yes, we just tried to bring you this information, and so well, that's important. I'm quite sure maybe when management deems it necessary in a very fine way, we could bring that maybe on or in our news. You could follow us doing our news and you hear more from this press conference. So that's all we have for you from the U.S. Department of Justice.
Great, thank you, Anthony, for that update. Shortly we'll join Dana Sando. Sando, if you are monitoring us, you can put in the call now. Let's take you via the telephone as we talk about this whole Liberty Party saga. We're still talking about this thing. We have Sando on the line. Daniel Sando is the National Vice Chair for Press and Public Affairs of the Liberty Party. He's on the line. Daniel, good evening. It's a pleasure. Good to have you. I'm told you just returned from Buchanan Grand Bassa County. Welcome to Monrovia.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon via the telephone. Let me also say good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You are right. I just returned from Buchanan Grand Bassa. We are going there on Thursday to make preparation for the political leader statement. We stayed there up to the weekend. And we returned this morning to resume our duty back in Monrovia. Well, it was good, as always, to be in Bassa, to interact with our partisans, talk issues of the Liberty Party and how the party is going to be involved in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections.
Great. And so how was the atmosphere while you were in Bassa with your political leader?
Well, the atmosphere was very enticing. It was very, very hospitable. As always, there's never a bad time to be the people of Grand Bassa County. You know, Liberty Party as a national political institution has enjoyed overwhelming support from the Bassa-speaking people. And so for us who are officials of the party, it is always a pleasure for us to be in the midst of our partisans. The love, the concern can be so overwhelming. You know, it's a whole big family, so it's always, I mean, there's never a dull moment being together.
Great, Daniel.
You witness the massive turnout at the party office to grace the PR press conference. You also saw, I mean, if you follow the local media, there's a massive show of support. So the political discourse continues. I can say for a fact that Grand Bassa County is prepared to be a part of the national conversation as we move into the 2023 presidential elections.
Okay, great. And so we call you basically to talk about this thing from your standard bearer regarding the media conference yesterday in Buchanan Grand Bassa County. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, a faction of the Liberty Party, expressed disappointment in the Supreme Court ruling on the ongoing crisis surrounding the party's constitution. Remember last week, the Supreme Court handed down a verdict on the constitution of the party after a protracted period of legal battle in a case between Liberty Party Chairman Musa Belete and the political leader, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence. And so, Senator Lawrence...
Yeah, go ahead.
Senator Lawrence, according to her, the legal technicality at the NEC and the Supreme Court is intended to dissuade her attention from the upcoming presidential and legislative elections. But according to her, she's not deterred. So what is that disappointment with the ruling from the Supreme Court that is coming from your political leader, Madam Kanga Lawrence?
So in the first place, we'd like to set the record straight that Senator Lawrence does not speak for a faction of the Liberty Party. The records carry that she is the political leader, undisputed political leader of the Liberty Party.
And before you go further, Daniel, sorry to interrupt you. Before you go further, on the other hand, there was a release or communication from the chairman of the party, Musa Hassan Belete, stating that no one should do business with Madam Kanga Lawrence, not even the NEC, and some of those major stakeholders in our body politics.
So I will first of all address your first question about the statement that was made by the political leader in regards to the Supreme Court ruling. Before I come to the record statement oozing out of Mr. Belete, talking about nobody should do business with the political leader. So the public is more interested in knowing what would be the position of the Liberty Party in the wake of the Supreme Court ruling. Of course, there are misconceptions already that have been spread across the radio stations, the media space, about what the Supreme Court said. There are not too many persons that have seen the ruling. There are not too many persons that have read that ruling. There are not too many persons that know the rationale the basis upon which the court ruled. there are not too many persons that have seen the judgment from the court. The court is yet to issue a judgment. But let's go to the ruling. The ruling basically states 2 counts. That the Constitution, which was submitted by Mr. Bility and Martin Kula, was submitted in the proper manner. He said they committed no error by submitting the Constitution, even though they were not the people who organized and presided over the convention. The next thing the Supreme Court said that NEC does not have the authority to investigate matters of fraud in political parties. So these are the 2 issues that the court landed on. The bill of exception or the appeal, in other words, that was submitted to the full bench of the Supreme Court because the appeal grew out of a decision that was rendered by the Chamber of Justice. Now we took a complaint to the NEC against outlining all of the illegal actions that Mr. Bility has taken in the name of the Liberty Party, asking the NEC to notify those decisions and to set the record straight, to remind Mr. Bility that he does not have the authority to do X, Y, and Z. So you talk about almost like a 21-count bill of exception, right, or complaints that were filed to NEC. Mr. Billity's lawyer went to NEC and said the case does not make sense. They asked the hearing officer to dismiss the case. They filed a motion for dismissal. The motion for dismissal argument was entertained to the motion for dismissal, and a determination was made. The hearing officer declined to grant the motion, stating that the motion did not have no legal basis of which the case should be dismissed. So therefore, he denied the motion. Mr. Bility and his lawyer took an appeal against the ruling of the hearing officer to the Board of Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners again affirmed the ruling from the hearing officer that NEC was the appropriate place to hear political party dispute, and that asking them to dismiss the case, had no legal and factual grounds. So again, they affirmed the ruling from the hearing officer. Mr. Bility took flight to the Supreme Court 2 days after and filed 2 petitions, 2 bogus petitions, in my opinion. The first, he filed a petition for the writ of prohibition, that is, prohibit the NEC from further proceeding. The petition for the writ of prohibition was outrightly denied. According to the Justice in Chamber, it didn't have a legal basis. Then Mr. Bility went again. After being defeated, he went again and filed a petition for the writ of certiorari. Now, the writ of certiorari is a remedial writ from a higher court to review or reverse the action of lower tribunal, right? In this instant case, the NEC is a lower administrative authority, is a lower tribunal, and so therefore, he went on certiorari to the Supreme Court. Now, what is the basis for the certiorari he went on? He said that we did not have standing to complain him. We have been expelled from the party, right?
Of course.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah, Bility said he and Martin Kula are the legitimate people who are with the authority to speak for the party and make decisions.
So he said he raised the issue of standing, he raised res pendi, and he raised res judicata. Now, res pendi, first of all, res judicata is that this matter that people bring into the court has already been decided. The court asked Mr. Bility, where is the ruling if the matter has been decided? He cannot show the ruling. He referenced the letter given to him by Tipler Reeves. The NEC lawyer said NEC has 2 capacities. NEC can operate 2 capacities, as an administrative body and as a quasi-judicial body. The matter that was raised by Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence, Emmanuel Azango, and all from the party is a quasi-judicial issue. So you cannot use an administrative action to say it's a ruling, because the board has not passed on the thing yet. And to our utmost surprise, Justice Kabar, for reason best known to himself, said that the issue had already been settled. Where is the ruling? They cannot show the ruling. So therefore, he issued a writ of certiorari, reversing the decision of the hearing officer. So, not satisfied with Justice Kabar's decision, we went to the Supreme Court full bench on appeal.
And that writ was turned down.
Well,
I'm saying it was turned down by the Supreme Court.
We went to the full bench of the Supreme Court on appeal. Again, we are very astonished over the manner in which the Supreme Court ruled. Of course, the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice, but we reserve the right to fundamentally disagree with the rationale on which they rule. We filed the legal brief to the Supreme Court, right? Unfortunately, the Supreme Court abandoned and ignored all of the issues that were raised in the legal brief and chose to rule on something that was not even included in our case. Now, anything when they talk about the Constitution, the constitutionality of the 2021 Convention and this and that was never raised in our argument. So where did the Supreme Court come from to say, oh, the Constitution and Stability and Martin Kula submitted, they committed no error? That was not the basis of our case. So it's like if they say Tio went to the court to say somebody has burglarized my house, and the court said they investigate, and they found somebody liable for raping. That is Supreme Court treated us. We have complained somebody that look, the decision rendered by the justice in Chimbo, we believe that he committed reversible error. Will come to the reverse the decision. What are the basis of the decision? What are the matters before the court have been decided? There's no ruling to that effect. NEC has not ruled. That's what NEC said. We are the appropriate authority to handle political party issue. Gave us the opportunity to investigate a case without investigating. Supreme Court said no, you are investigated, but it cannot show a ruling. Okay, so we are baffled. So the reason why I said we have to wait and not to apply or to misinterpret the ruling from the Supreme Court is because very strangely, the Supreme Court read the ruling and they told us to wait. We received the ruling 3 days after they read it. We have received the ruling from them. It's close to a week now. We cannot get a judgment from the court because when the court rule, they have to send a judgment down. It is a judgment that the court is going to enforce. Up to now, the Supreme Court is yet to issue a judgment in our case. Okay, so we are waiting for the judgment. If the court tells, for example, the issue of NEC investigating the fraudulent aspect of disability criminally altering the party constitution, if the Supreme Court say NEC does not have the authority to investigate fraud, then they have set a bad precedent. Because if we go by election in 2023 and somebody felt candidate A felt this enchanted with the result and election, the Supreme Court has already said by virtue of the Labour Party case that you can't go to NEC. You must go to the civil law court or some criminal court. So the ruling unsettled a lot of legally established principles. We can discuss that. That is for the legal people to argue on. But fundamentally, we disagree with them because the issue that was raised in the case was that issue that they rule on. They rule on something different, and apparently that comes in. That's where the manipulation of the court comes in because somebody's narrative was given to the judges, and that's why they decided to rule on. Unfortunately, we have not gotten the judgment from the court yet. What is the hold on?
Let me take you back a little bit, Daniel, regarding this whole party constitution. I recall very well at the NEC once upon a time, the constitution that was submitted by Mr. Ability is what the NEC felt that that particular constitution was valid, and this is what they are adhering to.
No, you can't say the NEC felt that, because when you say felt that, they try to opinionate that because there has to be before a ruling. If you say something has been
the NEC sees the constitution submitted by Ability as the valid constitution of the party. That is just it.
NEC has said if Tipler Reeves wrote with Ability and say the constitution that you submitted, right, is deemed appropriate on the properly challenge, through an appealable decision, and somebody come for the party and say this man did something with the constitution, is that not a challenge? So the letter giving him opening a room for legal challenge. The legal challenge has been posed to the document he submitted. Supreme Court said no. The matter has been decided, but they cannot show us the ruling. Right? That's water under the bridge. Somebody's argued that the case has been decided, it's found out no. Like I said, there are 21 counts in the bill of the exception I was submitted to the court. And the alteration of the constitution is just one thing. Right? If the Supreme Court say that NEC does not have the authority to investigate fraud in political parties, what becomes of the other 21 counts? Does it render the case meaningless or moot? We are waiting for the judgment from the Supreme Court. We have not received that yet.
What do you think is
talking about the political leader statement that the legal battle has not ended yet? That's the angle she was coming from, because the lawyer has said to us, until the Supreme Court can give the ruling to know what NEC can do and what NEC cannot do, we cannot proceed further. That's why we said to them, we need a ruling. We need a ruling, we need a judgment.
What do you think is the hold on to that entire ruling you're talking about from the Supreme Court, Daniel? What do you think is happening behind the scene?
The court is heavily manipulated by politicians. You read in the news on the e-Marshal website, the immediate past Chief Justice of the country, Mr. Justice Francis S. Kopol, is being appointed to a governmental position. This speaks to how the judiciary, the Liberian judiciary, is inherently compromised because of political influence. There are people in the judiciary who are heavily influenced, who are susceptible to political manipulation, and this is why you see the court ruling on different things in a case that is before them that doesn't talk about the identical aspect. I mean, it is bad for our country because the Supreme Court in every country is the apex of the judiciary, right? When you talk about dispensation of justice, the Supreme Court should lead by example, should be the exemplary. If the Supreme Court is in the business of rendering bogus ruling in cases that borders on the survival of political institutions, then that speaks to the fact that the Supreme Court itself is undermining the democratic stability of the country. Democratic stability because political parties are the building block of our democracy. When the Supreme Court looks at a political party and someone is trying to endanger the existence of the political party, and Supreme Court is rendering decisions that are legally unfounded, it speaks to the depth to which our country has backslid. It's very much unfortunate. So talking about why do I think this thing is being delayed? Why do I think that we got such a ruling? Because there are people who are interested in keeping political parties like the Liberty Party in this area. There are people who believe that they can now win election in this country in the face of a stable political institution. So that's how they believe that they can cause their own disturbances. That's how they believe they can destabilize the political landscape to their own benefit. But unfortunately, we know very well that no amount of ruling from the Supreme Court can distract the Liberian people from the course they have been back upon. No amount of political dilly-dally can rescue or can change the course on which our democracy is going.
Don't forget the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice, Daniel. So
I didn't say the Supreme Court is not the final arbiter of justice. I acknowledge that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice, but we reserve the right to fundamentally disagree with the Supreme Court. In 2017, when Councillor Bromsky alleged fraud in the election,
I'm afraid elections are conducted and over.
Results are announced. That's the motive of the plot, and that was the basis upon which the political leader responded in the manner and form in which he did over the weekend.
Daniel, what's your next step?
There is an attempt by our political adversaries to keep us distracted from being focused on the bigger picture. And as a party, moving forward, the lawyers to pursue the legal action, the legal remedy available to us. We as a politician want to mobilize the partisans to move in a direction that will determine the next leadership for this country. And that's what we're doing. We're not going to be focused on legal battle that will not pay off. You know, political party will stay in court. I know there are many political parties in this country that have internal issues. Of course, the Liberty Party own issue have persisted for over time. But I mean, the crisis is not only peculiar to the Liberty Party. So we now have, we have 6 months to the election. We now have to focus on the bigger picture, mobilize the support base of our party, identify winnable legislative and senatorial candidates to be featured, whatever manner and fashion we want to decide upon to go into the election, because we know very well that the democracy has to mature over time. If we look at a legislature that is so compromised, the legislature that is led by one party that cannot deliver for the people, you do not want to see such a legislature resurfacing on Capitol Hill. So we have a job to go into the big corner of this country, every trenches of this country, and ensure that we can identify winnable candidates who share our ideology, our philosophy, our belief of Liberia, picture them on the ticket, right? What an independent political party candidate. We can identify those people and win an election to fix this country. We cannot afford to have this country being like this for the next 6 years. The first, from 2018 up to present, has been very disastrous for our country. There has been a decline. There has been a decline in every aspect. Look at the health sector. it's almost
Daniel,
malfunctioning.
somebody somewhere monitoring this broadcast or this program could think or feel that your political leader, Senator Diller, and others are the ones who could be blamed for this whole constitutional crisis in the party. I'm saying this to say people could feel that perhaps if you guys, I'm not invited Diller, not Diller mobility to the party, all of this wouldn't have happened.
They're not inviting.
So we're still not helping the situation because, hello?
Go ahead.
We're still not helping the situation.
You give Billy the power he has now, so he's making use of the power he has now.
I'm coming.
He is the man now with the gavel.
When you left tears in the eyes of others, the likes of Steve Zago, Mr. How do I call him?
Can I answer the question?
Go ahead.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate for us to try to falsify history.
Enough unfortunate, Daniel.
I mean, you're making flower with me.
I'm not making flower now.
Go ahead.
It is just unfortunate for people to try to falsify history.
You say falsify history, Daniel?
Party by Nyombi Kanga Lawrence.
So did you say falsify history?
So if you want to talk, I can listen to you.
Yeah, I'm asking you. You say we are
cannot be answering your question. You be talking. I ever say we are having
we're not making noise, argument. Daniel. I'm asking.
It's a dialogue. If you want to talk, you say Daniel Holy. I will listen to you. We have this favor.
So I'm asking
I can't be talking. You be distracting me.
So I'm asking you, Daniel. You said
let me answer the first question.
I don't know. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Daniel, go ahead. You are protected on the show.
Go ahead. You are saying.
So I said, let me repeat myself. It is unfortunate for people to try to falsify history.
Okay.
We've been in the fold of Liberty Party for the last 15 years, and nobody can tell me that it was Nyombi and Dillon that invited Musa to the Liberty Party. When Musa joined Liberty Party in 2015 or thereabout, Nyombi was never an executive committee member. She has always supported Liberty Party from the background. I know that she single-handedly financed the campaign in 2011. She was not an executive committee member. Okay? So it is wrong to sit on the radio to say that Nyombi didn't brought the embarrassment to the party. Of course, she's the leader of the party. That's why she's taking responsibility. But nobody should say that Nyombi and they don't brought into the party. No. When Councillor Bromsky made Bility campaign CEO in 2017, where were you? You were assigned with the Liberty Party from the Anna newspaper. We worked together. So it was not Nyombi and Dillon. When Councillor Bromsky, after the 2017 election, went to ROFA in 2018 and created another layer in the party called National Advisory Council and made Bility chairman and made Nyombi political leader. It was not Nyombi who promoted Bility. So, I mean, as one of the leaders of the party, I don't believe in shifting blame. And it pains me when people come to talk about the politics of the minimum or that they person brought the person in the party. It's not true. The political party has a philosophy that everybody is somebody. Okay? So, what crime did we commit by giving everybody the opportunity to become somebody in the Liberty Party?
And a regret in the midst of all of the Rickman rules, constitutional crisis,
of course we do regret.
The hurdles in the party, and
of course we do regret. A political party that we sacrifice our youthful exuberance, our energy, our meager resources to build over the last 15 years is being dragged into the mud by somebody who is behaving like a Janjaweed Malaysia. You think I feel happy about it? I don't feel happy. That's why it pains me when somebody goes, that person brought the person in the party. No. The political party, you don't choose. People say Liberty Party, the Bassa Party. I don't like to be trouble. But here we are now. We gave somebody from another tribe the opportunity to be chairman. Look what happening. So what question you think that's made? What example you think is he setting for your Kingsman tomorrow?
He was coming to dish out money in the party and fund some major...
That's absolutely obnoxious.
Major undertakings in the party.
That's absolutely obnoxious.
He was brought on board on that basis.
It is absolutely preposterous to even think that somebody would do highest bid in the party. Okay? We have never tasted...
But we saw that, Dana. He brought in
We
pickups.
have never had the opportunity.
He brought in pickups, fleets of vehicles that brought into the party.
Those are
and you were one of those who had one of those pickups assigned, Daniel.
But as party executive, you have a assigned vehicle. What crime did I commit by taking an assigned vehicle?
No crime, Daniel, no crime.
No, I just saying
that because... If the party brought in campaign logistics and they assigned campaign
How confident is your standard
Let me just
bearer?
conclude the point before I take the next question.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Nobody should even mistaken our leniency to be our weakness.
Okay.
We have given the the benefit of the doubt. The people who were on the radio every day crying Liberty Party, the Basel Party, they would never say that again. Because the opportunity of giving another person to prove that he can serve has been abused, it has been misapplied to destroy the party. If he succeeds destroying the party, he cannot succeed. He cannot succeed. It's not going to persist for a while.
You think oil is not lost? You think the party still has that image, that reputation?
Let me say this to you. Political parties is about constituency. Mr. Benedict knows that. I mean, I don't like to say this, but even a household is not following behind him. So he's just wasting his time.
Okay, you say that, Daniel. Are you serious about
Even
that?
a household is not following behind him.
On what
I see the man children on the street every day. If somebody discourteous thing they will say to him in confidence, they will not say it to him.
You want us to accept that, Daniel?
They say our father has destroyed our family name.
So
They say it to
Daniel,
me.
Daniel,
Yes.
what next now, since the Supreme Court read the ruling, as you say, you receive it on a later day, what next? What are we expected of your
That's what I said.
fashion?
When the court rules, the ruling has to be followed by a judgment, right?
Yeah.
The court, surprisingly, has yet to render that judgment.
Okay.
When the court render the judgment, then we can know what NEC can do and what NEC cannot do. Okay, with the court. So the ruling does not put everything to bear. The ruling says the NEC does not have authority to do this. Right? So tomorrow we go to file complaint. The ruling does not say Winga standing. The ruling does not say that nobody is not political leader. The ruling does not say that Daniel Sanders is not spokesperson of the Liberty Party. The ruling does not say anything like that. So for him to come into his okay, so what's the way forward, right? So once we get the ruling from the judgment from the court, that is going to determine our next way forward. There are a couple of cases that are hanging on disability. The court even mentioned about the case that is at the civil law court, the declaration of right for Emmanuel Azango. So that could also be another remedy. Whether we can amend the complaint to refile before the NEC, it can also be another remedy. So it is not that the court has handed Liberty Party to Musa Ability as a corporate entity. It is not true. So the message, the picture he's trying to create by putting out these bogus and unfounded statements that are deeply rooted in lies and deception is only meant to deceive the public.
So, Donna, that means your standard bearer is confident that it's going to go her way, probably in the final analysis.
Well, getting the system we have here, we are only trying to prove a point. Again, in Liberty Party, we say our faith is grounded in our respect for the rule of law. We are trying to set a very positive precedent. And we pursue all the means that are available to us. We do believe the issue will be addressed. If the Supreme Court had given NEC the opportunity to look into the case, the issue would have been addressed. But it's a reason why the Supreme Court does not want NEC to look into this case. That's a reason. And that reason is simple. Looking into the case would be a defeat for Ms. Ability, who has already become an agent of the government. Rooting for Nyombi in this case...
Agent of the government?
Of course. Rooting for Nyombi in this case...
What do you mean? What do you mean, Daniel?
I come here. The Supreme Court, the reason why the Supreme Court will not also rule for Nyombi, because there is an effort, earnest effort by the government to render Nyombi politically irrelevant. So in that thinking, they believe that, look, rule against her, and every conversation about Joe Burger naming her as a running mate would decline, would diminish because she does not have the political standing to the ruling. So there are a lot of things in play here, right? Some people do not want it. The very people who come on the radio to decline Nyombi in the day, to say the worst thing about her, I mean, they own records.
Belete is an agent of the government, you said.
They can't beg him overnight to say we want you to be running mate to Cummings. Those very people come back here one night.
You want to mention some of their names?
I know, for example, the who issued a statement yesterday was on the phone just 2 days ago begging Nyombi say can't be running mate to Arizona Cummings. Okay. I know for a fact.
Okay.
You can't deny that. So the reason for which They keep the party in court. They keep the party going back because they don't.
And
Because
what did she say? What did she say, Daniel?
Well, what she said is just opinion. We're not going to work with people who don't have good intention for the country. The only person who is capable to defeat George Weah in this election is Ambassador Bwaka. Why do we want to sit and pretense of that? So we don't want to, because who becomes a pawn in everything? It's the Liberian people. If you sit there and play pretense of reality, and George Weah gets re-elected, you will have a set of blame. Liberian people will blame you. So
Daniel, quickly, another thing I want to know, some of the conversations that come and be running mate to my political leader, some of those conversations come with something on the table. Did Belete mention anything on the table for Nyomli?
Well, I cannot speak to that. I know those conversations were already dismissed because the first in Belete is nobody to even sit and have such conversation with. He does not have a good intention, right? Mm-hmm. He's not somebody to work with. He's very dishonest. He's not trustworthy.
When did you realize that?
Well, the wise man changes.
Okay.
Experience and circumstance have shown us that ability, even if ability tells you morning, you need to open your window and look outside. Right? So don't ask me when you become a realizer.
Let's talk about
so you think all the things the men are doing outside, the thing was stupid, what's in that having conversation with him?
Daniel,
Daniel, has a question.
Are you and your political leader afraid that this entire case will be in court until election day? That will not allow your political leader to even form part of any activity.
Yeah.
No, but the political leader is a politician. I mean, they agree that let's say she cannot recognize the Labour Party because of the conflict. Mm-hmm. It don't be want to contest in any election. Even if she decides to contest for the Liberian presidency, she can still go another party ticket. She can go as an independent candidate in as much as she has acquired or obtained the qualification or the criteria laid down in the Constitution of Liberia. So nobody can stop her from contesting. And there are people who call and be asking to say, oh, what if Senator Lawrence is named by Ambassador Bwaka? Would there not be additional legal hurdles and everything? So I asked the person, I said, what would be the basis of those legal hurdles?
And I was just about to ask you that, what are the speculations that your political leader will probably join Ambassador Bwaka on the ticket?
Well, it's very possible. And that's why our political opponents are fighting to diminish the chances, because they know very well that ticket will be the winning ticket and they don't want it.
Okay. And
I would like to use this medium to call on Ambassador Bwaka to fast-track the naming of his running mate, because the more it delay, the more it arms our opponent to continue to increase the level of political...
Ambassador Bwaka would just be afraid in the midst of all of the hurdles, constitutional crisis in the party. He could just be afraid and say, hey, I don't want to go that route.
But I don't understand when you say afraid. Afraid of what? Why is there to be afraid of?
So there's still some sticky issues in the party, Daniel. You and I know that.
What are the sticky issues?
The issue of the Constitution.
So you have to tell me now, because there are people to listen to. You have to tell me, how does the process in the party disbar or disqualify somebody from contesting?
Nobody wants to do business or align with an individual who is, surrounded by lots of court cases and all like that, constitutional crisis, political party-wise or party-wise.
You still not answering my question. You need to tell me what disqualify Senator Lawrence.
You should be telling us, Daniel.
I'm saying this to you, that there could be no such legal challenge because there's no basis. Look, the Liberian Constitution is clear that if you want to contest for the House of Representatives, you must be age 25 and above, right? You must be resident in the country 10 years prior to the election, right? You must acquire property, own equipment property. And so it's laid down in the Constitution. The right to contest, the right to vote and to be voted for is inherently constitutional. Okay. And no amount of frivolous legal challenge can stop you from enjoying that right.
Today, the NEC had a press conference.
Even a first-year legal student will tell you outrightly that there's no basis for any challenge.
Okay.
Today,
the NEC had a press conference. Oh, you still continue? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask Daniel.
Let me speak to the statement that was issued by by Ms. Ability.
Before you go there, Daniel, why if Senator Nnamdi Kanga Lawrence is not selected by former Vice President Bouaka as running mate? Because I know you guys are very confident.
So I'll answer that question in the affirmative, the other way around. Why if she's elected?
No, I'm asking you why if she's not selected. What do we expect from you?
Nobody would not take hypothetical question because I'm very positive that she's going to be selected.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, respond to that question you wanted to respond to it.
Yes. So you talk about the statement I was issued by Ms. Ability talking about nobody should do business with a political leader. You know, at this point, I really do feel for Ms. Ability, and I can understand that all of her attempts to forcibly grab power in the Limited Party have not yielded results.
Ability appears to be winning, and you are here saying you're feeling for him, Daniel.
And I do feel for him psychologically and the way he's going through. Do you know what it means to be a two-faced individual? You, in the day, you are one person, in the night, you are another person.
What do you mean?
It has psychological impact on you. I just told you that that man takes the phone in there and call begging. And in the morning, you issue a statement.
That is an allegation. Hold that as an allegation. We don't have any record of that.
So, especially
you cannot produce any evidence to that. So we want to hold that as an allegation. Let us not dwell on that. For me, I don't want to dwell on that.
That's why I say I feel for him, right?
Okay.
Because to be speaking on two sides of your mouth.
But they can come and say, "You'll be coming too." So what will you say as well?
Yeah. So let him come and say it. And I challenge him. This is a challenge to him.
Okay,
Ms. Ability can call on this radio and say he never called Senator Lawrence, begging her to go as running mate to come in.
We want to take some calls down there. We want to take a few calls.
So what I'm saying to you, is this.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is this, that this statement has no magnitude. We call on the public not to take it seriously. You know, I can tell how Ms. Ability feels because Senator Lawrence, in spite of everything Ability has done to tear her down, is growing from strength to strength. Just week before last, she was in the United States at the invitation of the U.S. Congress. This is somewhere that Ability would never sit in his wildest imagination.
Let's forget about that, Daniel.
We gave this man a glorious opportunity to rebrand himself in Liberian politics. Look at what he has done.
Okay.
Look what he's done.
Finally, Daniel.
So we're not bothered about him. We just call on our partisans not to take him seriously. For those who don't know him, when you listen to him, you think that somebody serious is speaking. But it's a two-faced.
No, I don't want you to go so personal with Mr. Ability. Let's leave that for the sake of the conversation, please. Let's stick to the issues and avoid attacking personalities, please. I beg you, Daniel. So we want to take some calls, but finally, on today, the National Elections Commission had a press conference, and at that press conference, there was some stats released as per the just ended BVR exercise across 6 counties. The next year, 1,405,209 persons registered across the 6 counties, the first 6 counties. What do you make of that statistics, and how does the Loyalty Party see it?
Well, we have to take note of the very low turnout, and that is because the NEC has failed to do a massive civic voter education exercise. I say low turnout because when you look at the figure that's been released for Mosserado County, I think it's 800,000 plus. The last time we did voter registration here was in 2017. And Mosserado County recorded 777,000. So I want you to compare 777,000 by the number that was released by NEC today to see the difference. The turnout is very discouraging, and that is because the NEC has failed to do 2 things. The NEC failed to do a massive voter registration exercise. The NEC also gave a very limited period for the voter registration process. We have said that Mosserado County alone have over 2 million plus residents or people living in Mosserado County. And 21 days was infinitesimal. to give people who are working, who are business people, the opportunity to register to vote. So I think the NEC itself is contributing to this voter appetite, because when people turn out to vote in low numbers, then it becomes a problem for the country. The democracy can only nourish when it becomes participatory. And participatory will suggest that most citizens, you cannot have a population of 4 or 5 million people. What we're heading to now, because I'm not too sure that the remaining 6 counties will outnumber the initial 6 counties they have already. I'm not too sure that you need the second phase will outnumber the first phase.
Okay.
So what we have, overall, I can predict low turnout, even what has been announced to us. And I think the NEC did not proceed in the right way, because there have been a lot of unnecessary delay. And some of the delay also comes from the fact that the government has not been able to fully support the work of the National Elections Commission. This is something we talk about repeatedly, that if the William government is interested in peaceful transition, if they are interested in maintaining the peace and stability of the country, the way to do so is to support the work of the National Elections Commission. The Commission has repeatedly cried of low funding. And contradictory, the government said it experienced surplus budget. So why are they not supporting the work of the election? 2 things. Either they're not interested in it, or they want to cause chaos in this country.
Okay, Daniel. Thank you very kindly. You can drop the line and just monitor your radio. And then I want to take some calls. Maybe you can respond later on as per what some of the callers will say.
Yes, I would think.
If the need arises.
I was even thinking that we'll talk to Chairman Ability. I was thinking I was making effort that we'll talk to him on that allegation that he has called Senator Lawrence, who indeed in court he telling people not to do business with her, at the same time begging her to go as running mate to his political leader, the head of the CPP, Mr. Ellis Cummings. I was thinking I would talk to him. Let me see whether we can get him messaging already. He has not responded to the message, but let's see whether we can get him on the line.
As we wait Mr. Ability's sorry. Let's take
let's take some
you
calls
on the local line
from outside.
Zero.
So those of you following us, you can look strictly on the you can look at our feed, our Facebook feed. You will get the numbers. One of the numbers is on the field, particularly the MTN number. So
okay, let's take this call.
The are bursting. 777 105 100 555 105 100.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening to you, my brothers in the studio, and good evening to your co-hosts with you in the studio.
Go ahead.
Good evening to the president who led the land in Sano. And good evening to the men, the women from the Liberty Party.
Go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
Have lots of time.
Paris Johnson has put in this evening from the office of the incoming president, Ingresson Ambassador Joseph Nima Bwaka.
All right.
My attention has been due to the saga that is circulating relating to the Liberty Party between the standard bearer of the party
and the party
chairman. They have to do with Brother Musa Ability. And my brother and friend, or my uncle will be in studio there, also are listening to me. They're not bad. They're not bad. They're not bad for somebody to select you as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And if at all you are being selected by a group of people to be friends with you, it means that body saw leadership in you.
Thank you.
That is why you are being succeeded to that position.
Thank you. Thank you, my man.
Thank you.
You thought you love. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Japan.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you joining us from?
Good evening to Sano and also good evening to the conscious man and Liberians. My name is Emmanuel Fukatue. I do join you from the Borough of Fujian this evening.
Go ahead.
I listened to Brother Sano propine on the issue of Liberty Party. I think by now the solution of Liberty Party is to come on the round table and discuss how the party to move forward, because blaming each other, I think it will not help the Liberty Party. because we are heading to national and we are heading to an election. So today, even Berete wrong or Senator Yombri wrong, the issue is all Liberty Party supporters who closer to Berete and Dallo and Senator Lauren need to come on the round table and discuss the issue, how the party will move forward, not to be end of the very issue. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very kindly for your participation as well. Let's take another caller. The person is off the line. 077-105-100, 055-105-100. And the numbers to call in and be live on the second final lap of the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. This caller here. Good evening, quickly. You have 30 seconds. You don't have much of time. Please forgive us. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Shetrike. And I'm from District 11, to be specific, the Kapistan community. Thanks so much to Daniel this evening for his explanation. But as it relates to the issue that we all Liberty partisans and most of who criticize the decision of making Chairman Berete chairman of the Liberty Party, Bronski was very smart. He knew there was no way that Berete could hold position of such, but just putting on campaign committee or a facility. This is a position Berete should be holding in the party. People say sorry to be trouble, but he said, give me a piece of land near you. You simply will take that entire land. The people were crying, said, no, you don't do it. Because the Musa said he gave 20,000, he was buying things in the party, he was at the party headquarters, all kinds of things. This was the last he was playing around.
Thank you, That's all you there at this caller. Good evening. Ambassador, all that data only meaning behind you.
Yeah, you just make a good expression by calling Berete. I think you just need to try by all means and call Berete so we can balance the equation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we have to go to you. No time.
Yes, this one caller, then we wrap up on the show. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Teals William. Thank you for all the analysis on your platform. Hello?
Go ahead, my man.
Yeah, Tio, there's a saying I said, a baboon, that ready to die.
Yeah, with us,
Yeah, with us, son.
Yeah.
Tio, I remember one time ago, Senator Dillon appeared to SMP, and I gave me a recommendation to him, and they downplayed it when the whole saga of the Liberty Party started. Their decision to even invite to start up by using the 2015 Constitution was wrong. It was a wrong procedure that they took. I recommend to Delon that they should have used the same 2021 Constitution to expel Musa Berete, saying he has admitted to all of the allegations, suspend his power and put on an investigation. After all, use the clause within the Constitution that talks about exposure and expel him.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
thank you, I'm afraid we have to
we have to go. Another program is up next
time. Thank you so much.
We have to leave you. My name is Anthony Jeffan. We are here again on Wednesday for another edition of this program, The Hard Talk.
Yeah. And the song by Tikman Nimland the Lit will take us home on this edition of The Hard Talk. We'll be here again Wednesday, like my colleague said. But hey, don't forget, when you eat